This is Geek News Central. My name is Todd Cochran, coming to you from the new media production studio. The lead stories: Elon Musk wants to cut a terrible habit he has. We've got a great view of the DART asteroid impact. A NASA aircraft or aircrafts are going to hunt for rare minerals over the next 5 years. And a Tesla robot has some ways to go. I want to welcome you to episode 1626 of the Geek News Central podcast for Monday, October 3rd. This show is sponsored in part by GoDaddy.com and listeners just like you. Great deals from GoDaddy can be found at geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. You can support this show today by becoming a Geek News Central Insider at geeknewscentral.com/insider. I want to give a warm welcome to all the brand new listeners of the show. Thank you for being here. Thank you for checking the show out today. Of course, if you're a longtime subscriber, thank you for being here as well. Make sure you get over to geeknewscentral.com. When you're on the website, follow or subscribe to the podcast. Of course, you can get signed up for our newsletter. That link is on the website as well. You can join our chat room. Our chat room is at geeknews.chat. Go ahead and get over there and get signed up, or you can hang out in our Discord server as well. Link to that is in the show notes. You can always contact me via email, geeknews@gmail.com, geeknews@gmail.com, or on Twitter @geeknews. Of course, you can follow me on Facebook by searching for my name. Partner shows are all linked at geeknewscentral.com. Definitely check that out. Whether it be the new media show, which is hosted by myself and Rob Greenlee, whether it be the GNC Week in Review with Scott and Kirk, or Podcast Insider. Actually, it's not linked on the website. Sorry. Getting ahead of myself. The Gadget Professor with Mr. Don Bain. If you want to do listen to Podcast Insiders at podcastinsider.com. But the Gadget Professor, Mr. Don Bain, all those links are available at geeknewscentral.com. Of course, this show is sponsored by the longest-running continuous sponsor of a podcast. That's our good friends at GoDaddy. I want to thank GoDaddy for being a longtime sponsor here of the show. You take some time and get over to geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy and look at all my great deals for October. 30% off on new product purchases. That's a 30% discount code that you can enable and use today. $4.99.com for new or transferred domains for new customers only. $1.99, yes, $1.99 a month economy hosting for the first year with a free domain. $2.99 a month managed WordPress hosting for the first year, again with a free domain name, or a free trial of GoDaddy website builder, your choice of personal, business, or business plus plans. That's a 1-month free trial. Get your deal on. Get your website launched. Economy is not looking good. It is time to get something going. Get a podcast going. Get a business going. Get an e-commerce site. Whatever you want to do, GoDaddy can make it happen. Again, I got you the best deal. Hosting prices is not going to be the excuse. All right? Get online, get your site set up, get started. Again, you get a free domain name along with this. So it's a great deal. $24 a year for the first year, $24 for the first year. Get you online, get you set up, get you going so that you can have an online premise. Geek News Central listeners save an average of 94% on purchases of GoDaddy hosting plans and an average of $3.50 on each GoDaddy domain name. You're supporting this show, keeping this podcast online, allowing me to continue to pay the writers that produce the show, produce the podcast blog post, everything. Got that back. Produce the blog post and help support the show. So definitely check it out. Get it over to geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. And we definitely appreciate GoDaddy for being a longtime sponsor here. And much thanks to them again for their ongoing support. So, wow. Left you Thursday. Podcast Awards was Friday. And let's just say it went well. And but of course, I had pre-recorded on Thursday. So all I had to really worry about was keeping the internet online. Had a great turnout for the live stream, announced all the major winners. The Adam Curry's People's Choice Podcast Award went to Baby Mama's No Drama Podcast. Best Female Hosted Podcast went to Fresh Hell Podcast. Best Male Hosted Podcast went to Real Life, Real Crime. Best Black Hosted Podcast went to Urban Legends with the Gross Brothers. Best Asian Hosted Podcast was Ghost Maps, True Southeast Asian Horror Stories. Best podcast host in Spanish was La Abela de las Tres Guerras, and I just probably destroyed that, of course. So the list went on. It was great. We had some great influencers of the year we honored, both on the podcast and listener side. 30 total categories. Go watch the YouTube video and check it out. And again, a lot of great podcasts in this stack. I mean, huge shows. Big Mad, True Crime, and That's Why We Drink, Fantasy Football Today, Hey Riddle, Monsters Among Us. These are all great shows. Great lineup of tech shows, too. The tech show that won is called Malicious Life, but lots of shows there, including GNC Week in Review that was one of the nominees. So definitely get over to podcastawards.com and go through the list. And again, congratulations to everyone over there that participated. So I vegged most of the weekend. I mean, literally, and I left here Friday night. I essentially about face planted. I woke up about 9, got up and moved around, and just I vegged. I vegged the whole weekend. It was fantastic, and actually started to feel better Sunday because I was just whipped. I was a whipped dog, tired boy. And kind of came out of my funk on Sunday, got some work done. I got my flights booked for Saudi. That came through. So I'm flying Lufthansa for the first time here to Frankfurt, Frankfurt to Riyadh, Riyadh to Frankfurt, Frankfurt to Detroit. So I leave for Saudi on Monday the 17th. And 2 o'clock in the afternoon flight come out of Detroit. So, 8 or 9 hours to Germany and then a 7-hour layover. So I'm definitely going to be trying to get some sleep on the flight and then another 8 or 9 hours into, I guess it's a total of 21 total travel hours. Seems kind of weird, but one thing's for sure. I get into Saudi to Riyadh about 8 p.m. at night. And then I've got about 12 hours. And then I'm going to be to recover probably more like 10 once I get to the hotel and get checked in and, go. Well, who knows how long it's going to take it through customs and all that. But for sure, I'm going to have be hardcore sleep one way or the other. It might be pill induced, but next morning got to get up and be ready to rock and roll for this big event that I'm going to. 15,000 creators and got to dress the tees. So got breaking out the suits and formal business wear. So that's a first for me in the Middle East. So we'll see how it goes. But I leave this week. Thursday, I'm leaving for Reno, going to a reunion for a squadron that I was in before. My liver is, I'll try to flush my liver the best I can all week because I just know it's going to be a party. It'll be a party Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Saturday, I got to get up at like 3 or something ridiculous and get to the airport for a 5 a.m. flight. So, yeah, it's because I got to get back. Got to get back here mid-afternoon on Sunday and then be back ready to be here in the office. So it'll probably be a little rough of a flight Sunday coming back from Reno, and knock on wood, hopefully no cancellations or anything like that. We'll keep our fingers crossed. So just one show this week, and then I'll be back with you a week from today after this podcast. So let's go ahead and get into the stack. Kirk found a great lineup of stuff, but it's kind of interesting. You just learn more than you need to know about people, right? What is the one thing that probably the majority of us do when we wake up in the morning? Well, for some of us, it's a trip to the bathroom. Usually that's number one. For me, sometimes it's hitting the snooze once. This morning it was hitting the snooze once and then sleeping through the snooze. Yep, they hit the stop button and then, yeah, overslept. So that was my thing. But Elon says that first thing he does when he wakes up is checks his phone. He says he checks his phone first thing in the morning, and he thinks it could be detrimental to his health. I have a bad habit of immediately checking my phone in the morning. So he says he spends the first 30 minutes of every day checking emails. Now he says to replace that habit with a workout. He says, I need to work out and be in better shape. And so I'm going to switch from immediately looking at my phone as soon as I wake up in the morning, and then I'll look as working out for at least 20 minutes. I'll look at my phone. You know, you have to be careful, older gentlemen, getting up and hitting exercise stuff too quick. You have to kind of get up, get things moving, because as you're older, you have a higher tendency of having a heart attack first thing in the morning. So just, get up, get moving. So Elon, it might not be a bad idea to read the phone for 10 minutes and, or get up and move around before you start working out. Who can do that anyway? Right? And most of you that are working out, you have to prep. You have to have your creatines, your proteins, and that takes a while to kick in. So I don't know what kind of workout he's doing. Maybe he's just walking around his house. Time will tell. Moving on here. So how about you? Is it your bad habit? Over at SciTech Daily, I can't remember if I showed this on the last show. I don't know if or not, but they did capture the dart hitting the asteroid. And it kind of looks like splat. And it's kind of got that look, right? You see this, and then you see this kind of this outward explosion of debris. So it is pretty cool that they were able to catch this. And so the Earth was in a position where southern and eastern Africa to the Indian Ocean and the Arabian Peninsula, they could actually see this asteroid. That's the area in space it was. And they were able to watch it with a ground telescope. So it's pretty cool, and recorded it. So the link will be up in the show notes for you to check it out. And but it is kind of a cool little video. Can't see too much more than what you would expect. All right, moving on here. The next thing up is NASA aircraft will elevate the hunt for critical minerals in the United States. The United States is scrambling to build up a domestic supply chain for clean energy technologies, which would require a whole lot of critical minerals. So this aircraft that they're going to be flying, or multiple aircraft, it's called GEMX, is the name of the joint research effort. It will launch with $16 million in funding made possible through a bipartisan infrastructure law over the next 5 years. A NASA ER-2 and a Gulfstream 5 will fly over parts of California, Nevada, Arizona, and New Mexico to collect data that could point to where critical mineral resources are most abundant. And then the government will come in and do eminent domain and take your property away. But both aircraft will carry a NASA airborne visual infrared imaging spectrometer for high-altitude remote sensing. The instrument will measure reflections of light from the Earth's surface, hyperspectral data that ranges from visible to infrared. Each mineral reflects light slightly different, and they're on the hunt for minerals still in the ground and in mine waste. So the U.S. current list of critical minerals include, of course, lithium, nickel, cobalt, which are all crucial for making rechargeable batteries. There's also tellurium, used in solar panels, as well as graphite and rare earth scandium, used in fuel cells. So global demand for critical minerals is expected to explode, and they don't want to rely on China. Now, in March, the president invoked the Defense Production Act to expand the domestic production of critical minerals used in clean energy industries. And administrators doled out millions of dollars in funding for mapping, mining, and refining. So we'll see. So those states, don't be surprised to see a NASA aircraft flying back and forth, back and forth, back and forth over your area looking for minerals. Well, Tesla headlined its AI Day on Friday with the reveal of its Optimus robot prototype. While the demo is certainly more robotic than last year's, yes, they had a dancer in a onesie. Remember, it wasn't a real robot last year. The lumbering mess of cables was far from sleek and the sexy design faithful Muskites might expect. But Elon said before they opened the curtain, he says, I do want to set some expectations with respect to Optimus. As you know, last year it was just a person in a robot suit, but we've come a long way, and compared to that, it's going to be impressive. But in a world accustomed to backflipping bots of Boston Dynamics, Optimus was less than impressive. A mechanical engineer stepped in to inform the audience that this was the first time the robot was run without any backup support cranes, mechanical mechanisms, no cables, nothing. Now, the prototype managed to rotate its arms, then tottered to the forefront to give the audience a wave before walking back as the screen failed to close. This is essentially the same self-driving computer that runs in Tesla cars that's powering this thing. And then the event showed videos of the robot picking up and putting down objects and watering plants. And Elon said, what you saw was a rough development robot using semi-off-the-shelf actuators, but we actually have an Optimus bot with full Tesla design and built actuators, battery pack control systems, everything. So they didn't show that one. This version was then pushed onto the stage. That version, was then pushed onto the stage, was a little more Tesla, slimmer, neater, shinier. Only one problem, it can't walk yet. And he says, I think it'll walk in a few weeks, but we wanted to show you something that's fairly close to what we will go into production with. And it was, I guess, clumsily wheeled out by staff. I haven't seen a video of this. I would love to see it. If anybody finds a video, let me know. Love to see it. So time will tell. So that before this goes into your homes, it's going to be a while. Now, those of you that are nerds, techies, what have you done to do something to, a little techie trick that backfired? Well, there's a great story about a trainee who turned on the lights on monitors and cathode ray tube monitors because the professor was not giving them notes, and a little bit of a whiplash effect because the individual could hardly keep from grinning the rest of the time that he was in this guy's class. But what have you done to, in a techie way, to annoy people? I love to hear your techie stories, kind of your little bit of a revenge type stuff. Have you got one of those? If you do, I definitely want to hear about it. geeknews@gmail.com is the email address you should use for such sharing of information. Apple's no longer activating its prototype SIM cards for iPads with cellular data. You'll have to use a carrier card or an eSIM to get online without Wi-Fi. So you may need to perform these extra legwork to connect an earlier iPad to cell networks. Apple stopped activations for Apple SIM and certain iPads as of October 1st. If you're affected, you'll have to either contact your carrier and likely obtain a SIM card, or use an eSIM in newer tablets. Apple included a conventional SIM with cellular versions of iPad 2, iPad Mini 3, iPad Mini 4, 5th and 6th generation base pads, and the original 12.9-inch iPad Pro. So now you're going to have to go get a SIM. My best advice, if you need a new SIM for your device, instead of going off to T-Mobile, AT&T, and Verizon, order one on eBay or Amazon, get it delivered, then call and have it activated. Does anyone that listens to this show use Yahoo Mail? I have not seen a Yahoo Mail email in many years. It was bad before, but do any of you use Yahoo Mail? Well, Yahoo Mail app updates makes it easier to manage receipts and track deliveries. That's kind of shocked. People are still using this. This update's designed to help users track receipts, shipments, gift cards, and free trial subscriptions that need to be canceled by a certain date. A new design also aims to make navigation easier with the top of inbox contextual filters, one-tap unsubscribe, and attachment organization, and more. This is curious. Be nice to track subscriptions. That'd be kind of cool. But there's other apps that can do that for you as well. Amazon is launching a dedicated hub for its affordable shopping options. Now, I'm not familiar with this because apparently they've had an affordable shopping option before, but Amazon launching Amazon Access, a new hub for customers to explore the program discounts and features that the online retailer's offers for affordable shopping. The company announced on Monday, said it's also discounted Prime membership which launched in 2017, will now be called Prime Access. The new Amazon Access Hub gives customers access to information on options like payment with a SNAP, EBT, Amazon Layaway lets users reserve selected items for 20% of the total cost and pay the rest over time. The hub also lets customer clip coupons and find deals on everyday essentials. It also includes information on paying with Amazon Cash, which lets you shop on the marketplace without a debit or credit card. Was not familiar with this. The discounted program gives eligible customers access to Prime membership for just $6.99 per month, which is normally $14.99. So I don't know what the requirement is. Now, Amazon doesn't offer discounted rates to seniors, current or former military anymore. Now, only those or anyone that isn't on federal assistance. Oh, so apparently to get this discount, you have to be on federal assistance. Okay, interesting. So, yeah, I didn't know about this. If you are on assistance, did you know about this? Or you have a family member that might be, definitely check it out. All right, save them some money. Or just let them use your account. Add them as a distribution point. Black holes can't trash info about what they swallow, and that's a problem. Okay, this article, it's over in Ars Technica, is probably, I learned more about black holes in 15 minutes reading this article than I have probably the entire time that I've been doing this show. Did you know that 3 numbers define a black hole? I didn't know that. So if you know the mass, electric charge, and spin of a black hole, you're done. That's all you'll ever know about it, and will never need. And all we'll ever need to describe its features. Because they form over a long time, no one fully understands how they form. All that they know is they have a lot of mass to get started, but the process is really never observed. And they don't know how to unravel that. So that's something that's out there that they say is something they're still working on. So anyway, very cool article about black holes. Over on The Verge, Netflix's latest Stephen King film is about the horrors of phone addiction. Has anybody watched this? This looks like an infomercial article from the folks at The Verge movie review, and but it's called Mr. Harrigan's Phone. Might not be quite as memorable as some of King's more iconic stories, and but any of you watch this? Love to hear if you have. Tell me all about it. Walgreens turns to prescribing. Walgreens turns to prescription filling robots. Don't need as much help. The nation's second largest pharmacy chain is setting up a network of automated centralized drug filling centers that could fill a city block. Rows of yellow robotic arms bend and rotate as they sort bottles, multicolored pills, sending them down conveyor belts. The company says the setup cuts pharmacy workloads by at least 25% and will save Walgreens more than $1 billion a year in employee. The ultimate goal gives pharmacists more time to provide medical service, et cetera, et cetera. This frees up the capacity of our most skilled professionals. And they said, why are we filling prescriptions like we did in 1995? So, of course, Walgreens has reduced pharmacy hours at a third of its nearly 9,000 U.S. stores, and in some markets, offering signing bonuses up to $75,000 to fill pharmacy jobs. So I guess they got openings for pharmacists, but what about the other workers, technicians? YouTube is asking some users to purchase a premium subscription to watch 4K. YouTube's premium paid subscription includes benefits like ad-free viewing, video and song downloads for offline consumption. Now it might be shifting video streaming in 4K, currently free, to the premium tier. Will you really know the difference? Will you really know the difference? This is not clear if this is the dealio, but it might be coming to YouTube. I don't know what I'm watching videos in, to be honest with you. Most of the time, stuff that I'm watching is, I don't think is 4K. Maybe it is. Of course, with my bandwidth, probably not. Little shot of Red Bull there. Hey, those of you that are checking in, thanks for saying hi. Skip says, I might have turned off the wife's Wi-Fi while she was in a meeting. Oh, interesting. That was an interesting move. Skip says, I wake up and drink a cup and then walk 7 miles. Oh, that's good. 7 miles, Skip. Holy cow, how long does that take you to walk 7 miles? You know, what is the naughtiest thing I've done? Oh, I did it to my son when he was playing League of Legends. If you get, he was not listening to me. And League of Legends has a rule that if you jump out of a game 3 times within a certain period, you get your account basically suspended for 30 days. I may have cut the Wi-Fi off a couple of times. Yeah, 3 times. And watch a meltdown to ensue after someone didn't listen to me. Yeah, I might have done that. A data sharing agreement between the U.S. and UK is now in effect. As of today, a data sharing pact between the U.S. and UK is in effect 5 years after it was first floated. The two sides claim that the Data Access Agreement, which was authorized by the Clarifying Lawful Offices Use of Data Cloud Act in the United States, will help law enforcement to combat serious crimes in both countries. The Department of Justice called the initiative the first of its kind, and it would enable investigators to gain better access to vital data to fight serious crimes in a manner that's consistent with privacy and civil liberty standards. Under the agreement, authorities in one country can request data from ISPs in other countries, in the other country, UK specifically, as long as it's related to preventing, detecting, investigating, and persecuting serious crimes, including terrorism, transnational organized crime, child exploitation. U.S. officials can't submit data requests targeting people in the UK and vice versa. Presumably, requests can either be used to assist domestic investigations or investigations into foreign nationals. Authority can also need to adhere to certain requirements, limitations, and conditions when they access and use the data. So they can't ask for data. So they have to be foreigners? Officials can't submit data requests targeting people in the UK and vice versa. I don't understand that. So the Electronic Frontier Foundation said it creates a dangerous precedent for other countries who may want to access information stored outside their own borders, including data stored in the United States. So the U.S. is looking to forge pacts with other countries as well. Signed a deal with Australia last December and entered negotiation with Canada early this year. So I need more info on this. Anyone know more info? Is it only foreign nationals that they can target? I don't get it. If they're asking for data, how do they know if someone's a citizen or not? It's odd. Meta has settled a lawsuit for significant sum against businesses scraping Facebook and Instagram data. 2 companies basically had to pay big. The company's name, the Israeli-based brand Total Limited and Delaware Incorporated Unimania Incorporated agreed to a permanent injunction and had to pay Facebook a pile of money. So, interesting. Also, reminder, Hulu is going up in price next week. The streaming service will cost $1 more for ad-supported and $2 more for ad-free. So that means you'll have to pay $7.99 a month instead of $6.99, or $14.99 a month instead of $12.99 a month. So there you go. Increase in Hulu coming to you. Oh, Skip says, there's a special place for you, my friend. By the way, I listened to your show 2 times on Fountain to get the sats. Oh, very well, Skip. Skip, are you going to be in Reno? So, anyway, cool. Whisk Aero's latest flying taxi has 4 seats and can fly itself. It calls the 4-passenger craft a candidate for FAA certification. So here you go. It's an auto taxi and can fly itself. The 6th-generation semi-autonomous air taxi, calling it the first ever candidate for type certification by the FAA for autonomous eVTOL. The design looks substantially like an updated version of the Cora Air taxi, and that was seen to hover in New Zealand back in 2018. According to Whisk, the 4-seat aircraft can cruise between 110 and 120 knots at a height of 2,500 to 4,000 feet. It's a VTOL, vertical takeoff and landing aircraft with a 12-propeller design, feature tilting propulsion units in front and fixed units for the aft. It offers up to 90 miles of range and improved control and efficiency, energy management over previous versions, according to the press release. So when I lived in Honolulu, I could have used one of those to fly from Kapolei to work. So we'll see what happens here. What will happen with this and whether or not they are able to get air certification. Oh, that's right. I didn't know you didn't do any time over there. I'm responding to Skip in the chat. So, yeah, this is a Q party. Hackers released 500 gigs of data stolen in LA school district ransomware attack. The breach includes Social Security and health info. So the Los Angeles Unified School District did not pay the bounty. So the Vice Society has published 500 gigs of data cache. The collection includes extremely sensitive details like Social Security numbers, bank account info, health data that extends to student psychological profiles. Vice Society giving LAUSD until October 4th to pay the ransom. It's not clear what prompted the hackers to release the data a day early, but they allege that the U.S. Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Agency wasted our time and it was wrong to tell the district to reject the extortion attempt. Oh, this is what the school said. So CISA, the FBI, and other agencies have historically told ransomware victims to refuse payment and simply encourages hackers to look for more targets. LAUSD Superintendent Alberto Carrello has announced the creation of a hotline to provide support for parents and staff. And the school district is still recovering, hopes to achieve full operational stability for key technology services. And I'm going to tell you, welcome to the club. I've had all my data released and stolen by the Chinese, at least 2 sets of data. They know everything about me, my entire life history, my background check data, all of that. So welcome to the club. Twitter's edit button is rolling out to blue subscribers in Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. So if you're Twitter blue, you'll get the edit button. I don't know if we're going to get it to non-blue button folks. Apple Music now has over 100 million songs. That's more than Spotify, but by how much does it really matter? And they had 30 million on launch in 2015. I think my personal music, I still have all my MP3s. I've got 40 or 45,000 songs that I ripped from CDs, albums. So I think my collection is still pretty good that I paid for. So, but 100 million, that's a big number. That covers just about everything, doesn't it? You may not have an easy time, though, finding that indie darling or back catalog title, because some of that stuff is hard to find. And of course, much of that, I'm sure, is DJ mixes and a whole bunch of other stuff. FCC will start kicking voice providers out of its robocall database. Calls will be blocked if those providers don't boost their anti-spam efforts. Telecoms slow to adopt anti-robocall measures could soon face stiff punishment. The FCC now plans to remove 7 voice service providers from its robocall mitigation database for failing to comply without implementing stir-shaken call authentication. Companies have 14 days to show cause why they shouldn't be removed. The companies include our Acabus. So if you're doing any voice IP work with these folks, your number's about ready to be blocked. Cabus, Cloud4, Global UC, Horizon Technology, Morse Communications, Sharon Telephone, and SW Arkansas. In all cases, the companies failed to share their anti-robocall plans even after CC warned them about violations. The FCC required that all carriers use Stir Shaken by the end of June 2021. Major carriers like AT&T, Verizon were quick to adopt the technology. Small providers received extensions, but only so long as they detailed how they limit robocalls. So I don't think it's going to end it. I think we're still going to get them. So some of you are car nuts, right? I like nice cars, but most of the nice cars are beyond my applicable budget. But I tell you, there's a few out there. The Maserati's first electric Gran Turismo is pretty sporty. Link will be in the show notes for you to check it out. Looks pretty sexy. How much is that bad boy going to come in? Let me look. It's got a top speed of 198.9 miles per hour. Let's see here. How far can it drive? Doesn't say what the range is, and of course it doesn't say what the price is. If you have to ask what the price is, you can't afford it, right? Is that the normal rule? If you have to ask the price, you can't afford it. Maserati claims with improved agility Maserati claims has improved agility. If it weren't for the aerodynamic wheels and the lack of exhaust pipe, you might not know it was an EV. It doesn't look like an EV. So, yeah, it doesn't say how far it will drive, but probably 200-300 miles like the rest of these. Tesla delivered a record 343,830 vehicles in quarter 3, but still missed Wall Street forecast. Despite the rebound in record numbers, the third quarter delivery figures still didn't meet the expectations, which ranged between 358 and 371. There was also a larger than unusual gap between production and delivery numbers. The company produced 365, 923 in the third quarter. So they said as our production volume continues to grow, it's become increasingly challenging to secure vehicle transportation capacity at a reasonable cost during these peak logistic weeks. So in other words, they can't ship them. In quarter 3, we began transitioning to a more even regional mix of vehicles built each week, which led to an increase in cars and transit at the end of the quarter. The cars have been ordered and will be delivered to customers upon arrival at the destination. So they're just, they can't get them to the destination, which is curious. Kim Kardashian, this is a good warning. Kim Kardashian has had to pay $1.28 million to sell an SEC charge linked to a crypto promo on her Instagram. She was promoting a crypto. She had no idea what it was about. Got paid like $250,000 to promote this. So she was talking smack about this crypto. And, had a $1.26 million. Of course, she's worth $1.8 billion, so I think she can afford to do it. But she was promoting Ethereum's max crypto asset. with not a lot of disclosures that she's supposed to make. She started the post by asking her 250 million Instagram followers. Again, this was what Kardashian said, not me. Are you into crypto? This is not financial advice, but sharing what my friends just told me about the Ethereum Max token. So here's the deal. It was an advertisement, non-disclosed. Didn't use the hashtag ad. So anyway, that cost her $1.26 million. Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, Meta, and Google to improve speech recognition for people with disabilities. They need to just improve it overall. We just need it better, but the Speech Accessibility Project aims to help people with Downs, Parkinson, and more. So the aim is to improve voice recognition for communities with disabilities and diverse speech patterns often not considered by AI. Includes people with Lou Gehrig's disease, ALS, Parkinson's, cerebral palsy, Down syndrome, and other diseases that affect speech. So that's good that they're doing this. And hopefully it'll make these algorithms be more accurate for everybody. Okay, so here's a fun one. Oreo has announced the launch of a new flavor for the holidays. What do you think it is? Their next Oreo cookie flavor for the holidays is called Snickerdoodle. Yes, Snickerdoodle. Yummy. Hitting shelves on 10/17. So I'm a big traditional Oreo cookie fan. Matter of fact, I avoid eating them because I love them so much. I could eat a whole bag. It's one of those, it's like Reese cups, right? So, but I may, if they show up in my shopping center, I may have to order a Snickerdoodle. That might be a good one to get. Yes, it might. All right, so very, very close here to the end of the show. And I do want to ask all of you, I don't think we had any comments come in. I'm trying to find my stupid email link. There it is. What did we have come in? No, we did not have anything come in. But if you have a comment about this podcast, I'd love to hear from you. Yes, I would. We did not get any boost this go around. I did get some boost before from the previous show that we already talked about. So, Skip, thanks for using the Fountain app. All of you get a chance to give it a try. Put some crypto in there. So put some Satoshis in there. $20 goes a long ways. It really, really does. Especially if you send like 1,000 sats at a time. So definitely check it out. More on this in the coming weeks and days because this is the way to send micropayments to the show. Now, you can just go ahead and fire up PayPal too and become an insider. geeknesscentral.com/insider. That's a great way to support the podcast as well. But I definitely appreciate all of you for being here, staying subscribed. Thanks for the chit chat for Skip on the. Oh, you said pumpkin sauce, pumpkin in Oreo cookies. I don't know about that one. But anyway, I'm not a big pumpkin guy. I do a little pumpkin pie if the crust is right, but not too much. I'm just not a pie guy to begin with. So, any of you been to Saudi, to Riyadh? Is there anything I should see while I'm in Riyadh? I have nary a clue. I'm going to have to do some Googling around and see if there's anything actually to see. It's 100 degrees there. So, going to leave here a little chilly and walk into the furnace. Yeah, nighttime lows of 91 degrees. Daytime highs of 100 plus. So, and it's a dry heat. Don't worry. No humidity. But thanks, everybody, for being here. Everyone stay safe. Be careful out there. Watch over one another. We'll see you next time here on the Geekness Central podcast. Everyone take care. Bye-bye.